Hey, so this video is a little bit different from the ones I normally would make. Usually I really kind of script things out and put a lot of time into it, but I'm just kind of doing this one off the cuff. The Final Fantasy XIV patch 6.3 notes are now up and the patch is live. And as a lot of people should already know, there's a big Paladin rework incoming in this patch. And I've been a Paladin main since I started the game, so I've been a little bit nervous for this one coming up. So I just want to run through the patch notes real quick, kind of talk through my opinions on the adjustments, on the rework. This is largely new for me. Full transparency, I did already try to make this once before looking at the recording and realizing that you couldn't really read it on my screen. I needed to zoom in a little bit. So yeah, I've ran through, I don't know, the first third of it or so there's still plenty to react to brand new. And because I am a little bit rusty, I haven't had a lot of time to play the game the last few months. I do also have the job guide open as well, so we can check out any sort of new effects that are just referenced here, or in case I forget how something works. So, alright, so starting off, Fight or Flight. That is the Paladin's self-buff. It's been changed from increasing physical damage only to increasing all damage. I think this is really good because as a Paladin, a lot of your damage actually is magic, so this only affecting half your combo led for things to not have a ton of flexibility, because if you went into your Fight or Flight window and needed to run away, start using magic, something like that, you're just wasting your cooldown. Riot Blade, this is your normal combo, like your 1-2-3 combo. This is the 2. So they've just reduced the potency on this. I guess that's just for general balance reasons. Iron Will, recast time, this is tank stance. This is more quality of life than anything, I think. Sheltron, now instead of being block incoming attacks, reduces damage taken by 15%. This is also really good. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, before any AoEs, stuff like that, I'm not sure that Sheltron would block that kind of stuff. Plus, it really all it did was give an increased chance to block, which was potentially higher damage reduction, but only from more specific sources. So, Provenance, this is the second part of your AoE combo. So it restores more MP now, but the bigger thing is it grants this Divine Might buff, which, looking over at the job guide, Divine Might allows your next Holy Spirit or Holy Circle to be cast immediately with increased potency. So this is really good, I think, because now anytime you have this Divine Might buff, you get an instant cast of one of your damaging magic spells, Holy Circle or Holy Spirit. So this is really just going to increase your flexibility, and depending on how things go looking down the line, this might be a really big deal overall. So Goring Blade now has increased potency of 700. It does no longer apply a dot, which I think is probably for the best. As much as I love Goring Blade how it was, I understand that the game has been moving away from dots, from damage over time effects on a lot of classes, a lot of jobs in the last couple of years. And thematically, it didn't really make sense for Paladin to be managing and dancing around a damage over time debuff. So now this is just going to be another kind of heavy hitting off global. Since the cooldown is now 60 seconds instead of 2.5, we know it's off global. Yeah, this will be good. I think this is definitely going to change up your normal combo. So we'll see how things go. I do really like the Divine Veil change here. Whereas before, whenever you use Divine Veil, you had to either heal yourself or have one of the healers or somebody heal you, and then everybody around you would get a shield. A lot of people don't really pay attention to that. especially in pug groups. So this now just creates a barrier around you and your party members, which is great. I think this is huge quality of life change. So this is going to be really good. So Royal Authority, this is the other part of what used to be two 1-2-3 combos. I guess this is your only 1-2-3 combo now. So the potency on the combo has been reduced, but now for every use of it, you get that Divine Might buff. So you get that instant cast of Holy Circle or Holy Spirit, and I think this is really good. This is going to help a lot with kind of downtime things. If you get off the end of your 1-2-3, you need to run away, step out of an AoE, something like that. Basically this and the Prominence change are going to be really, really big, I think, in terms of movement and flexibility and possibly your whole combo now. Holy Spirit, the potency has been increased, so yeah, those instant casts are going to be important. I'd have to sit here and do some math to figure it out, but this might be, Holy Spirit may be part of like your normal rotation now. It's looking more like that's probably the case, is that Holy Spirit and Holy Circle are going to be normal parts of your rotation now, rather than being it's a rotation on its own. So potency has been increased, potency while under Requiescat has been increased. Potency is increased even higher while under Divine Might. So yeah, absolutely. You're probably just going to do Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Royal Authority, and then immediately hit your Holy Spirit before going back to Fast Blade in your 1-2-3 combo. So now it's more of a 1-2-3-4 kind of thing. Divine Might will be prioritized over Requiescat while under the effect of both. So you'll want to definitely be careful about that, because Requiescat, the buff on that gives a much higher potency than Divine Might. Speaking of Requiescat, the potency of it has been reduced. Maximum stacks have been reduced to 4. That makes sense considering you're getting all sorts of other free casts now. The effect has been changed from increases the potency of Holy Spirit and Circle and spells will require no cast time to increases the potency of Holy Spirit, Holy Circle, and all Confiteor combo actions and spells will require no cast time. The additional effect grants Blade of Faith ready when the effect of Requiescat ends has been changed to grants Confiteor ready, which I'm sure we'll figure out a little bit more of what that means down here under Confiteor. But so now this is also just increasing your entire lineup of magic spells in terms of potency. This is a really good change, I think. Like I said, the change from 5 to 4 stacks makes sense because you've got free stacks out the wazoo now. But yeah, this is going to be a lot more damage over the course of an encounter. Holy Circle, the base potency on it has been reduced. Potency is increased to 200 while under the effect of Divine Might, and Divine Might will be prior. So basically the same thing as Holy Spirit, just potency changes. So Atonement, the potency on this has been reduced. This, if you don't know, when you use Royal Authority, you get 3 stacks of a buff called Sword Oath. You can spend those Sword Oath stacks to use Atonement, which is an instant weapon skill on the global cooldown. It's just an attack that restores MP. So before you would use your Royal Authority and then you would use up your stacks of Atonement. It's probably pretty much the same now when you get those Royal Authority stacks. It's just reduced potency. That's it. Confiteor. This is one of the big ones. Ooh, wow. Potency has been reduced from 1000 to 400. Potency is increased to 900 while under the effect of Requiescat, but to be fair, you're never really going to be using it unless you're under Requiescat anyway. So basically potency of 900 now. Potency will be reduced 50% for the second and all remaining enemies. So this is an AoE. So basically the target will take full damage. The rest of them will take 450. Effect of Requiescat no longer ends upon execution. Okay. Requirement for execution has been changed from while under the effect of Requiescat to while under the effect of Confiteor ready. So requirement for execution has been changed from while under the effect of Requiescat to while under the effect of Confiteor ready. basically what this means is that 5th stack used to always be reserved for Confiteor. Now, after Requiescat ends, you'll have Confiteor ready, which is the buff you need. So basically then Requiescat is going to be functioning the same way. You'll have your 4 casts of Holy Spirit or Holy Circle, and then you'll use Confiteor. It's just, you no longer spend a stack on Confiteor, but it functions essentially the same way, thinking about it in that combo. So, this is good, I think, overall. I mean, this essentially is the same way. It's just this is a pretty neutral change. The potency is down a little bit on Confiteor, but you still have your combo, which we have not gotten to yet. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Holy Sheltron reduces damage taken by 15% instead block, just like regular Sheltron. That makes sense. Ooh, buff to, I've never known how to say this, expiation. Potency increase on the target, and then reduced potency for the second all remaining enemies will be increased from 50 to 60%. So now 450 on the target, and then 60% of that on all the remaining enemies. So this is just a potency buff. Okay, Blade of Faith. So this Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor, this is the combo that comes out of Confiteor. So it looks like they now have an MP cost rather than costing nothing. So it's too early right now for me to be able to think of how this fits in to everything else in terms of where your MP will be at. So this will just take some experimenting to see exactly how this affects things. Potency has been reduced from 480 to 200, but it's now increased to 700 while under the effect of Requiescat. And of course, it no longer restores MP because you're using MP to use it. Same thing here, potency reduced to 300, increased to 800 under Requiescat. Interesting. And same thing here, potency buff under Requiescat. So it's looking to me like, let's go up here to Requiescat again. So it looks almost like, so before the standard move was to use Requiescat followed by 4 of your Holy Spirit or Holy Circle, and then use Confiteor, and then use this Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor combo, because you couldn't use these until you used Confiteor. But they didn't cost MP, they restored MP, so this is going to be interesting, because now it looks like what the move might be with the potency of Holy Circle being 200. It looks like sometimes it's quite a lot of the time actually, it's going to be a lot better to, instead of doing your 4 Holy Spirits or Holy Circles, use Confiteor first, because now Requiescat is going to increase all of these potencies. So it looks like now you may want to use that first stack out of 4 on Confiteor, and then use the remaining ones on Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor, and this is a huge DPS buff here. It's definitely going to take some getting used to, but I think overall this is a really good change. Divine Magic Mastery, this is just a new trait to give your Divine Might. Enhanced Prominence, so they raised the level for when you get your buffed Prominence, and so now because you get the Divine Might on Enhanced Prominence, they raise the level on it. And now the healing effect of Divine Veil now applies upon execution. So these are just straight changes that we've already seen. Yeah, I think overall these are actually really good changes. It's going to be hard to tell until I actually get to spend some time playing the job as it is now, but just on paper, I like these a lot. I was nervous about it, but there are a lot of good changes here. Like Fight or Flight, this is One, being all damage. Two, I'm just now realizing that 20 seconds is going to make this line up with your 2-minute window a lot better than 25 seconds was. And even though I'm not a fan of making every job adhere to this 2-minute buff window, I think it's better to change it to this than leaving one left out. Lots of potency changes that make sense because it looks like they're just moving a lot of the power of Paladin around. RIP Goring Blade, but this is going to be a lot better, I think, than having to maintain a dot. Really love the Divine Veil change. This is a lot better than relying on somebody to heal you, or like having to spend MP and time healing yourself just to get the shield off. I like this Divine Might buff, now Holy Spirit, Holy Circle, rather than being your primary magic dealing abilities. These are going to be for weaving into your normal combo, whereas because of the Requiescat changes, the Confiteor combo is going to be what falls under your Requiescat window for way more damage than what it was before. I think overall these changes are not quite as, I mean, they are extensive, but they're not quite as extensive as what I was worried about, and I think these are actually going to be really, really huge, really good for the job overall, and I'm really excited to play this now. So, I hope that wasn't too rambly. It's early, I'm not good at these off-the-cuff kind of videos, so let me know what you think. Let me know if you've played the job, if you're a Paladin main, down in the comments what you think of these changes. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're bad? Are you pretty neutral on it? On paper, I'm a fan, but we'll just have to see what it looks like when I actually get to play the game. So that's it. Thanks for watching the video. Really appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next one.